All You Can Lead is a channel about leadership and self-development topics. Welcome back. Are you happy about life? Do you lack self-confidence? Do you constantly feel the need to please others? Are you easily influenced by people? If most of the answers to these questions were yes, watch this video to the end because I'm going to share with you a life-changing secret that you must know. This secret is going to make you much more successful and happier in life. First, let me introduce you to Dino, a software engineer who likes gardening and playing video games. Hey Dino, what are you doing?
My performance review is due tomorrow, but I haven't really started. It's so painful to write perf.
You know what? One upside I can think of is every time when you finish writing your perf, you can really feel good about yourself.
But I feel good about myself every day.
You may have guessed it. The life-changing secret is building self-worth. First of all, what is self-worth? Self-worth is defined as the sense of value of worth as a person. Why is it important to talk about self-worth? People with higher self-worth are much more confident, resilient, and willing to try new things. For example, your manager asks for a volunteer to present your team's strategy to executives. Am I ready to present in front of all the most important people? Am I really good enough? Do I really have the time to put the presentation together? Dino is always better than me.
I can do it.
Damn it, I could have said it earlier. I was about to say it. Now it's too late. Anyway, Dino is better than me. You don't like hanging out in big groups, but your friends want you to go with them to a random party. When's the party again? Let me check my calendar. Okay, Saturday night. Damn, my Saturday night is free. Well, if you really need me, I can make it work.
Sorry, I don't like going to parties, but we can grab coffee on Saturday afternoon if you're down.
Since people with self-worth are more in control of their actions, emotions, and lives, and therefore they're usually more successful and happier. Despite its importance, building self-worth is rarely taught in schools when we grew up. To make matters worse, we're usually surrounded by people who tend to be more judgmental and critical. If self-worth is so critical to our success and happiness, what can we do to increase it? Imagine ourselves as a swimming pool, and self-worth is the water in the pool. The water evaporates slowly, so we have to add water to the pool every now and then. If we don't add water for a really long time, we will run into issues of lower self-esteem and not feeling very happy. There are many different ways to add water to the pool, and let me share a few examples with you. First, many people add water by getting recognition from others. When others think highly of us, we feel good about ourselves. If people stop praising, our good feelings will disappear. When we were young, we got praises from teachers or parents. And when we grew up and started working, we relied on our managers and co-workers. When we had a family, we switched to our partners and children. The pandemic just made things worse because working from home created much higher barriers to get recognition from others. Since we're stuck in formal conversations over video calls every day, we missed out those recognition from casual conversations. People can't walk to a desk and say, "Thank you for helping out," or "Great job at that presentation." As a result, even if we're doing the same job, we might feel less fulfilled. Another way to add water to our pool is through acquiring possessions. For example, prestige, brand, power, wealth, and etc. They can be as effective as getting recognition from others. Whenever you think about them, you feel good about yourself. What's more, if you compare yourself with other people and you won, that's the moment when your self-worth goes through the roof. If gaining self-worth is so easy, why a lot of people are holding themselves back in front of opportunities? Getting recognition from others or through acquiring possessions share a common factor, which is extrinsic. In other words, you solely depend on someone or something that you cannot control. You can try very hard to influence other people or hold on to those external factors such as power, wealth, and prestige, but you never have full control over them. You can lose them and you will lose them. And whenever you lose them, you will run out of water very soon. How crazy it is to imagine that we hand over the most important and most critical thing to determine our happiness to something that we cannot have full control over. The good news is there is actually one way that is completely intrinsic, that is fully under our control, and I call it living our values. What does living our values mean? And there are two parts to it. First, discovering your values. Your values are something that you believe are good or something that you believe are the right things to do. You can also interpret it as who you think you are. It is not what you have or who other people think you are. It is who you think you are. When searching for our values, the question to ask is not what values are good and what values are not good. The goal is to figure out what belongs to us based on our individual life experience and belief system. Second, taking actions based on your values. You wanted to be true to yourself and live your life authentically. By definition, you will feel a sense of worth if you take actions based on what you think are worthy. In contrast, taking actions against your value will destroy your self-worth. The misalignment between who you think you are and what actions that you are taking will actually create huge confusion for your brain and also ultimately destroy your self-worth. One of my values is helping others. More specifically, I feel really fulfilled when empowering other people to realize their potentials. Therefore, I feel energized when mentoring or coaching others. I wouldn't feel a lack of self-worth when I'm no longer needed because my client has reached their goals. I tie my self-worth to my value instead of recognition from my coachee. Your water supply mostly depends on extrinsic factors. Take a moment to reflect what percentage of your day is spent on activities that are aligned with your values. If the number is low, don't worry. It is a great starting point because you have identified the root cause of your unhappiness. Identifying the root cause is the most important part of solving any problem. So what next? If you're ready for the change, the first thing I want to tell you is that you have full control to align your actions to your values. There are many ways to do it and you don't have to quit your job. Some small changes can actually do the magic. For example, if one of your values is community, but you rarely have opportunity to connect with others at work, one small thing that you can try out is to proactively say hi when meeting others. You can do it anywhere and anytime, it doesn't matter. Try saying hi to the restaurant owner when picking up your takeout food, or try and say hi to your colleagues when joining a team meeting. What matters is your willingness to align your actions based on your values of community. Over time, your values will be strengthened and you will feel more fulfilled and happier in life. If you have any other ideas about small actions that you want to try out, leave them in a comment and we'll be more than happy to hold you accountable. To summarize, living your life based on your values intentionally is a better way to build self-worth. Try out as small as an action like saying hi to others and you will be surprised by what happens next.
Thank you all for watching this video. I'll see you